Okay, under the mount, let's look at countering the mount punch with leg locks. In jiu-jitsu, this used to be considered a very disrespectful thing to do. You know, last century and the turn of this century. If you did this to someone, they would get very, very, very angry with you. But nowadays, with people like Rosemar Palhares, after he became popular, and after Gordon Ryan started tapping people out from under their mount, people started to respect it a little bit more. All right, counter number 1. The backward somersault to ankle lock. Also known as banana, a reference to an old Eddie Murphy movie. First, you need his momentum to come forward, so you wait for the punch to the face. And as the punch comes down, you help his forward momentum by bucking your hips as far off the ground as possible, getting his hands behind you. This will redirect the punch and get his hands to the ground. Then your fingers go in his armpits. Then you replace your fingers with your toes in his armpits. Okay, right here, make sure you get your head out of the way or you're gonna hurt your neck. Also, when you grab this leg, don't hold it too tight on your training partner. You could rip his knee in half. Especially if you like the guy. Squeeze at the very end after you get in a position, like right here. If you squeeze it too early, you could really hurt him, so be careful. The trick to not hurting your training partner is to make sure that you focus the pressure on his ankle and not his knee. Okay, let's look at this one more time. When you grab the ankle, right here, notice how I'm not holding it too tight yet. I wait until I slide up to the foot, then it's safe to pull. Okay, now let's check out a different kind of mount. Some people like to mount really low, and they don't just punch wildly. They select their punches carefully. Cover those biceps with your hands. Keep your arms bent so you don't get arm barred. And if the guy decides to post and he doesn't let you flip him over, you have to reap the knee. Again, do this carefully. Don't just crank this. You could rip his knee in half again. In a real fight, this is the best way to stop the person from getting on top of you, controlling the other leg. See his right leg? If I let that leg touch the ground, he's going to get up and punch me in the face. Next, we deal with the grapevine. Everybody knows how much I love those grapevines. If they grapevine your legs, here's a closer shot. This is what a grapevine looks like. He hooks the leg with his foot. Now, sometimes you have to put your knees together before doing this, but I didn't have to here. Then you do the splits. Then triangle your legs so you can't get the grapevine back. The rest of the move is pretty much the same. Find a way to buck the hips, get his hands above your head, and do your backward somersault. Here I get the leg a little later than usual. It still works. Okay, what about the guy that after you start to do the move, he posts his right hand, stops you from flipping him, and then he blocks the reap from happening. Circle your leg back around and trap his arm so that when you flip him over, he can't post, and finish the move like usual.